Welcome to the Business Spotlight series. My name is Steve Chiama. I'm the franchise owner of the Action Coach in Fairfax, Virginia, and I'm your host today of the Business Spotlight podcast. And today I have the pleasure to introduce Deborah Kevin, the founder and CEO of Highlander Press, as my guest. And today we're going to talk about Deborah's business, her journey into business ownership, challenges, best practices, share a peek into what it's really like to build and operate a business. So if this is your first time on the channel, be sure to like and subscribe to get notifications when we drop a new show like this one. So Deborah, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here today. And if you would, please give us a little bit of background about who you are and tell us a little bit about your business.
Yeah, thank you, Stephen. It's lovely to be here. Uh, so, as you mentioned, I'm the what I call the Chief Inspiration Officer at Highlander Press because
Mm.
my business, I get to choose whatever title I want, which should give you an insight into my mentality. Uh, you and I chatted before we started our conversation today. I have a very interesting background in that I'm a former CPA, Six Sigma black belt, and change leader.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always been drawn to words and stories and books. They were my constant companions as a kid. But being the first person in my family to go to college, uh, it was never in the realm of possibility that I could
Mm-hmm.
work with books. Fast forward after a very successful career, about 30 years, my youngest son was diagnosed with autism, and I left the corporate world to really get a handle on what that meant, how we could best support him so that he could
Mm-hmm.
have his best life.
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, I went back to school and wrote a novel and learned all about writing books
Mm-hmm.
and stumbled into publishing.
Mm-hmm.
Someone came to me and said, "Hey, you know a lot about books. Would you be able to help?" And
Mm-hmm.
I found that I loved it. It pulled everything that I had been doing up to that point, my outside the box thinking, problem solving at the root cause, to create Highlander Press, where our mission is really to elevate voices. What we do really, really well is take the black box thinking about publishing and really demystify it for all the authors who listen to us, whether we choose to publish them or not.
Awesome. Awesome. Let's talk a little bit. Let's give the listeners a little bit of context about your business as a business. Um, And I'm kind of thinking about the financial structuring of the business. Did you do this in a kind of a bootstrapping kind of way? Did you get financial partners? Did you get working partners? What was the structure that you used to get this going?
Yeah, so it was most definitely bootstrapping. When I
Mm-hmm.
started my business, it was truly by accident.
Mm.
I had time on my hands and some talent
Mm-hmm.
with building websites, and
Mm-hmm.
I was fairly decent with words.
Mm-hmm.
And I started building websites for authors who were just starting out.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very much a bootstrap. I did that for a while very successfully. And then I had to decide whether I was going to double down and learn the technology side or I was going to focus more on the words. And so I did that. And as I did that, people started talking about what I was doing for them. And so
Mm-hmm.
people came um, pretty naturally. But as you know, as a business owner, if we only rely on referrals and we don't increase our visibility, then the pool doesn't grow who of
Yeah,
people
isn't that the
who
truth? Mm.
like, that are like, oh, I like this message. This is really good energy. I want to work
Mm-hmm.
with this person. And so I learned a lot along the way, listened to some advice that wasn't in alignment,
Mm-hmm.
made a whole lot of forward movement mistakes,
Mm.
you know, but I think so for me, it was definitely bootstrapping, and
Mm-hmm.
I had the fortune of working, as I said, for 30 years, and so
Mm-hmm.
I had some money set aside to fund
Mm-hmm.
not only the business but the education piece that I wanted to have that went along with it.
Mm-hmm. Good. 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 So when you start up a business, there's a whole bunch of hats you have to wear. Got to do your own marketing, got to
Yep.
do your own selling. Oh, by the way, you got to do the work. You got to do the invoicing. You got to do the collecting.
Yep.
Um, Gee, if you hire somebody, you got to be the HR department.
Yep.
Um, where are the hats you're wearing today? Where are you at this point?
Yeah, so when I made the switch to become Highlander Press, I really spent some time thinking about how I wanted to create my business. And so, very
Hmm.
mindfully, I structured it to be purposefully flat. So, I have
Hmm.
one assistant.
Hmm.
We're looking to bring on a book shepherd later on
Hmm.
this year.
Hmm.
Um, but I built a web of really strong relationships with other
Hmm.
women business owners. And so,
Hmm.
for example, when we offer someone a publishing contract, they come into our world, then we look at their project holistically,
Hmm.
select a cover designer, someone who
Hmm.
will do the layout. I have a pool of editors and proofreaders. They all have their own businesses. And so
Hmm.
I will always reach out. They've worked with us, they know our standards, they
Hmm.
know what we like, what we don't like. So
Hmm.
there's investment in that education and those nurturing those relationships so that as we have more publishing projects and more books going out, we spread that so that we, the rising tide lifts all boats
Hmm.
philosophy. And I did
Hmm.
that very mindfully because I wanted to spend less time managing people and
Hmm.
more time managing projects.
Hmm. Okay, very good. All right. So you've learned the secrets of outsourcing all kinds of things.
Yeah. The first person I hired, despite being a CPA, was a bookkeeper to do all of the ins and outs, the invoicing,
Yeah.
and then a business attorney who does all my contracts, reviews all of the, sets up, makes sure that we're in compliance. She filed all of our trademark
Good.
stuff for us. So yeah, so that those two partners in my business, they obviously, I'm one of their clients, but
Hmm.
two very early hires for me.
Yeah, right. Those two make perfect sense to me.
Yeah,
Those you don't want to get caught into the bookkeeping. That's a task. That's not driving the business.
no,
You need the bookkeeping done, but that's not driving the
right,
business. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
very good. Very good. Who do you serve best? Who are the customers that you're really looking for? Who's your target? Who's your
yeah.
target audience?
It's interesting. We purposefully focus on elevating women's voices, but I
Hmm.
realized that we have half of our publishing client, our authors are men.
Hmm.
And I realized it's really more about some key personality traits. They're very curious people. They want to learn, they want to understand what
Hmm.
we're doing while we're doing
Hmm.
it. So they're
Hmm.
engaged in the process. If we're talking
Hmm.
about covers, they want to understand, what does it mean? What choices do I have? Why do you ask
Hmm.
these questions?
Hmm.
So curiosity. The other is they have a bigger mission.
Hmm.
So it's not just about writing and publishing a book, even if they're novelists. It's about putting new ideas into the world. It's about,
Hmm.
being thought leaders or
Hmm.
having the book do something in the world besides just be published.
Hmm.
So they're not vanity projects,
Hmm.
per se. So those I would say, and the energy of gratitude, they appreciate, they
Hmm.
recognize. We have most of our authors become very dear friends because
Hmm.
they appreciate the process, and then so they're referring the people that they know.
Hmm.
If you've got a book and you want to go through something really unique, you want
Hmm.
to talk to Debbie. So
Well, let's pick up on that word unique. What makes you unique? What would what is it that would attract somebody to call you as opposed to somebody else out there?
yeah, so in this space, we've built a whole education platform
Hmm. Hmm.
that speaks to what authors want
Hmm.
and need to know, because a lot
Hmm.
of authors don't realize once you publish a book, you have intellectual property, which then is a literary legacy, which
Hmm.
what do you do with that?
Hmm.
And so we're focused on putting out great books educating authors about their author business, because now they
Mm-hmm.
have an author business.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's something that feeds their other business, they still have an author business, and they can work in tandem or they can be at, at polar opposites depending
Mm-hmm.
upon what they're publishing. And so really underlying, what is it that they want that book to do? Do they
Mm,
want
good.
it to lead to more conversations? Are they looking to speak? Are they looking to teach classes from that? Are they looking
Mm-hmm.
just to have opportunities that they didn't have before because of
Mm-hmm.
this publication? And so every decision that we make on every single book, we're putting those perspectives on and looking
Mm-hmm.
at each project uniquely that way.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. What's one thing you wish more people knew about your business?
Hmm. How much fun we have.
Oh, you mean it's fun to write a book?
Um, I won't say that, but I would say like I take what we do very seriously, but
Mm-hmm.
I have a very irreverent kind of practical outlook on life. I'm
Mm-hmm.
very gifted at um, being very level-headed and
Mm-hmm.
calming. So
Mm-hmm.
as you publish a book and you share your insights or your wisdom or your
Yeah.
novel, what
Mm-hmm.
tends to happen is authors, the closer they get to publication date, the more the freak out happens. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be seen. I'm really saying this. Are people going to come? It's like that fear when you throw a party and people aren't showing up on time. Are they going to show up? What if somebody leaves a bad review? What if this is blank? Fill in the blank. What if so and so
Mm-hmm.
sees it?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And my job is to say that's perfectly normal. These feelings are normal, whether it's your first book or your 75th book or your 300th book, because
Mm-hmm.
every opportunity that we do to share our wisdom and our spirit and
Mm-hmm.
our writing with someone else
Mm-hmm.
is an opportunity to feel all those feelings again.
I'm sitting here saying I can visualize somebody going entire feeling compelled to get a message out, whatever that message might be. He's got something, he or she has got something that they just have to say.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden asking, gee, who's going to read this?
Yeah.
How did we deal with that?
Very early, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So when someone comes to us, they have a first draft already
Mm-hmm.
written. They're submitting to us for consideration. Um, we immediately, who's your ideal reader? And the word, if someone says everyone, I know we have a lot of work to do, because while
Yes.
everyone could read your book, we want to make sure that the people who really this book is intended for
Mm-hmm.
know it because of the way
Mm-hmm.
we're talking about it, the way we're positioning it, the way you're showing up and where you're showing up.
Mm-hmm.
Because the truth of it is if it's for everyone, it's for no one.
Right.
And that's one
Right.
of the most misunderstood things about marketing.
Mm-hmm. And that's marketing in general.
Yeah,
That's business in general. What's a
true.
niche?
Yeah, yeah,
Why do they call it that?
right. And
Yeah.
why should I care?
Yeah.
Right?
Right. 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 Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody with skin, right?
If you're breathing, you're my person.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Um, just kind of fun staying with that topic for a minute. On average, and this is kind of a wild guess, is on average, what would you say changes? How much changes in a average situation in from the first draft to what finally goes out the door?
Oh, whew. On average, the number that just pops into my head is between 30 and 50%.
Yeah, that feels about right. Yeah,
Yeah,
when unless they've written a handful of books before and they know how this works.
right. And
Yeah.
this, it's a lot of it is we're starting with structure. Like I say, even if you know, I'm reading it first as a reader,
Mm-hmm.
as a consumer of your information. Where do I
Mm-hmm.
have questions? Where do I want more? Where do I get confused about
Yeah.
the idea? Um, Oftentimes we're taking very complex ideas and making them more accessible to people. And that's the biggest challenge because we're not dumbing the information down, but we're also not speaking in code.
Yeah. Taking the jargon out.
Yes, yes, we have a big can of spray called Jargon Be Gone.
That's actually an important commodity.
I should trademark that and sell the heck out of it.
I like that. I guess I'm going to interpret that also means that you're breaking complexities down into bite-sized chunks.
Uh, we can, yes.
Hmm.
Every book is a little bit different. And again,
Hmm.
looking at who is the ideal reader, what's the goal of this particular book,
Hmm.
who is it for, and
Hmm.
what because a book is really a conversation with a reader
Hmm.
that you don't know yet. And so when
Hmm.
you write it, it's not you standing on a mountaintop and lecturing.
Hmm.
The best books are conversations. They cause you to think and then go back and reread something or make
Hmm.
notes or do a little digging into where you are and how this challenges you.
Hmm.
So that's really what we're trying to do with our books.
Good, 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 good. All right, so let's go back to the business side. Kind of
Yeah,
spin back. What would you say in your business building process has been one of the more memorable hurdles that you've had to get beyond?
I would say networking.
Ah.
I'm a natural introvert. And I worked with a business mentor who said you must join a particular networking organization. And it was very challenging because that particular organization, the first one I joined, it just felt like the big goal was to exchange business cards. This was
Hmm.
pre-COVID, obviously,
Hmm.
when we had business cards.
Oh,
Um,
business cards, yes.
right. Oh, those antiquated things.
Yeah.
And collecting them was the goal as opposed to
Hmm.
building meaningful conversations.
Hmm.
And I had a great insight. A
Hmm.
mentor said, because you're shy, you're just
Hmm.
sort of probably standing over by the cheese tray. And when there's no one there, you're just eating the cheese.
Hmm.
She said, stand by the front door and act like you're the hostess of the event
Oh,
and
that's a good insight. I like that.
greet
Hmm.
people as they come in. What do
Hmm.
you do? Pick one or two that you want to have deeper conversations with and then go
Hmm.
find them
Hmm.
during the networking part of the
Yeah.
event.
Yeah. That's good. I like that. I like that. I think one of the pieces I've suggested to people, and this is one I've used myself, is to pick a partner,
Mm,
somebody who you can support each other in the, not so much in the messaging, but in just the emotional support to go stand next to and get comfortable in the process until
yeah.
you've done it enough times that you feel a little bit like this is normal.
Yes. Yeah.
Hmm.
And and then I always like to set goals for myself. What would make this particular event a successful one
Good,
for me? Is it
good,
one
good.
really great conversation? Is it booking a coffee chat with somebody
Yep.
afterward or
Hmm.
just a connection that I otherwise would never have or someone that I know needs to be connected to that person? That's one of my favorites. Is like, oh, I need to introduce you to so and so.
I was going to ask what was the one of the more effective strategies you found, but that's a great one.
Yeah,
That makes it about abundance as opposed to scarcity, doesn't it?
absolutely.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
comes back.
It always comes back when you treat people like people and of
Hmm.
value and
Hmm.
oh, there's somebody that you really need to meet.
Hmm.
I mean, I find great joy in writing those emails. Even when I'm
Hmm.
having coffee chats with people, I'm like,
Hmm.
whether we have a relationship going forward, or if I
Hmm.
can introduce you to the next person who might be an ideal client or another referral partner,
Yeah.
that's just It's generous and I love doing it.
Fantastic, fantastic. All right, so let's take from that. Where do you see the future of the business 5, 10, 15 years from now?
My goal is in 5 years to at least double our publications.
Okay.
We've gone from teaching classes in live to
Mm-hmm.
doing an asynchronous class with a live
Mm-hmm.
component, which
Mm-hmm.
has actually, I was resistant to doing it because
Mm-hmm.
it's all about, they've got to see me live. But what it's allowed is people of different countries, people in
Mm-hmm.
different time zones, they can
Mm-hmm.
watch what they need to watch, all the stuff I was teaching live.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have conversations and the community that we've built of
Ah.
our existing authors who are coming up to publication and all of our other authors
Mm-hmm.
show up for each other. I mean, it's
Good.
just this growing community of people who
Mm-hmm.
have similar interests, very different backgrounds, very different cultures, very
Mm-hmm.
different
Mm-hmm.
belief systems, but
Mm-hmm.
they are all curious and they love to support each other. So it's
Mm-hmm.
just a really lovely kind of group hug experience. And
Ah, yeah,
so
yeah.
expanding that
Mm-hmm.
to allow for more, I'll call it love in
Yeah,
this
yeah,
space is
yeah.
is my goal. Personally, my goal is also to take me out of the day to day so I can
Mm-hmm.
focus more on my own writing.
Yeah, very good, very good. You've got a message at this point.
Oh,
You've
I've got
seen
lots
me.
of them.
Yeah, I'll bet. I'll bet. What do you see as the main challenges in pursuing that goal?
I believe mostly probably mindset.
Uh-huh.
Just going from teaching the classes live
Mm-hmm.
to making them asynchronous. And the asynchronous classes, they can go back and watch time and again
Mm-hmm.
when they're due, because we have many authors who come back for the second, third, fourth book because they
Mm-hmm.
love the process so much. So
Awesome.
it's there. It's not,
Awesome.
and it's constantly evolving. I get a question about a new technology. I'm going to go find an expert and we're going to create a class on that so that if it's something that our authors are curious about, they have a foundation.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Kind of pivoting from that, just kind of thinking back, if there was something, if you were going to start your business today,
Mm.
knowing what you know now, what would you do differently?
I would probably spend more time up front thinking about what kind of experience I wanted to have, as well
Mm-hmm.
as what I wanted my clients to experience,
Mm-hmm.
and not rushing to learn. My procrastination technique is to learn something.
Mm-hmm.
And despite all of my financial background, my, auditing businesses, being in the business world, running a business is very different.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know what I didn't know. And
Mm-hmm.
I listened to people who weren't aligned with where I wanted to be. And so I made investments early on that cost me time, talent, and
Mm-hmm.
treasure. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful for those experiences, but I would like not to repeat them.
So you had to have these experiences to be where you are today, but if we could avoid doing them
Yeah,
twice, we...
yeah, yeah. I mean, I learned so much more from the things that I made the mistake on. I can't even tell you. Give me an example. I have had more CRM systems that didn't work for what I wanted it to do.
Yeah.
I'm not all about the cold calls, so that wasn't what I was going to be tracking. And a lot of the teaching was around
Mm-hmm.
that sort of marketing, and
Mm-hmm.
that's just not aligned with who I am and how I want to attract people that I want to work with.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. That makes sense. All right. This has been great. We've got some really good stuff here. But
Thank you.
in the interest of time, let's start wrapping up with a few rapid
Okay.
fire questions here. What would you say has been your key to success?
Um, a, 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 I would say there are two keys. One is faith in my abilities as a person.
Hmm.
And the second is not being afraid to make mistakes.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's an important one, actually, because you are going to make them.
Yeah.
It's part of the game.
Yep.
That's awesome. If you and I were having coffee at the coffee shop talking about business and somebody walked in talking about their business that they were starting up, based on what you've learned so far, what's one piece of advice you would share with that person?
Identify your ideal client early
Mm,
and revisit it frequently because it may
mm,
change as you grow
hmm.
and evolve.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good one. And it does. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. And they change.
Yes.
Hmm.
There's a Native American saying that you can't step into the same river twice.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
go with that one. I like that one. I hadn't heard that one, but I like that one. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. What's one book you're reading now or read recently that has impact on how you're driving the business?
One book that I read every year and have
Mm,
just finished for this year is
hmm.
Don Miguel Ruiz's The Four Agreements. It's a little book that's every time I read it, I learn something new and it goes a little bit deeper. And I wish that I could think of all four agreements, but I'll just talk about one is
Hmm.
always do your best. And what that means is your best is going to change moment to
Hmm.
moment, minute to
Hmm.
minute, as you grow, as you
Hmm.
learn. As long as you are in your heart and you know you're doing your best with what you have at the moment,
Hmm.
that's all you can ask for. And trust that
Hmm.
other people are also doing their best with what they have and what they know where they are in their lives. So, you know, and the other one is nothing anybody does is really about you. It's about where they are in their mindset, where they are in their own growth. So don't
Hmm.
take things personally.
So I guess that also kind of suggests that you got to forgive them if they haven't learned what you've learned already,
Absolutely. We're all in
and
different places. Yeah,
vice versa.
right. And you
Got to.
can still say, we're not aligned to work together. It's not be you being bad or me being good. It's none of that. It's just this isn't an aligned choice for either of us.
And that may be even more complex at this time.
Absolutely.
Cool. Huh, that's a good one. That's actually a very good insight. I really like that. You've had a great journey. You've learned a lot. You've tried a lot of things. You've played around with a lot of different ideas. What would you say you're most proud of in this journey?
I am most proud of the company that I've built in terms of being true to the core mission of
Hmm.
I want to demystify. I'm so over with everyone thinking one way is the
Hmm.
only way. Whether we publish somebody or not, I really want people to know that they are more empowered than they think, and they
Hmm.
can make choices that are aligned with their long-term goals. And understanding that is really foundational to success.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes great sense. Yeah. Following up on that, just kind of flipping the question around. If there was one thing you could significantly improve this afternoon,
Mm.
you had a magic wand, what would it be?
Significantly improve in business. This is very
Hmm.
specific. Like, there's so many things how
Oh
I could
yeah.
answer that question. Um, in my business, if I could wave a magic wand, I would be stepping more into that CEO role and less
Hmm.
of a doer role.
Hmm.
And the doing that more quickly. I think that
Hmm.
that enables us to elevate more voices. It enables us to really live our mission in a bigger way.
I would say that is absolutely the truth. Yeah. Um, this is one of the funny things about people fear growth, but if you grow, you can you can help a lot more people.
Yeah.
And that's the real core. This isn't about the fear of the change. It's about the how many people can I help
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many more authors could be served, and then how many of their readers can discover new ideas and expand their thinking and their opportunity of their lives or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in your world, it isn't really just the authors. It's the readers.
It's the readers. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
It's
next level, the
it's that ripple
users.
effect. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. I love it. All right. So getting down to the most important question, people who want to get in touch with you, how should they do that?
Well, there's really two ways. One, they can go
Hmm.
to our website, which is
Hmm.
highlanderpressbooks.com. And I'm
Hmm.
also on Substack. I have a very active Substack where so it's Story Tell Her with an H.
Hmm. Hmm.
I write about publishing and writing and editing and all things book related to demystify that process. I have a really fun series that I wrote called Inkford, which is
Hmm.
about three different kinds of authors living in this made up town in a made up place in Colorado where they're all struggling to
Hmm.
be successful as authors. And so it
Hmm.
was a really fun series to write, and it is soon to be a book.
Awesome. Very good. Very good. Last question. What's most inspiring to you today?
Oh, I'm inspired. I find inspiration in so many places, but I will say, as I'm reading someone's book for the first time and seeing the heart that they've poured into it and their
Hmm.
thoughts, I'm inspired by their courage to
Hmm.
be seen and known. And it's just such a great honor to be a small part of that process to
Hmm.
support their goals. And so I find our authors to be so inspiring, regardless of what they're writing and how they're showing
Hmm.
up, because it just takes tremendous courage to do that, to be seen and known.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Yeah, it does. Yeah. But on the other hand, they've got something burning inside.
Yeah,
How to get it out efficiently and effectively.
exactly. Exactly. In a way that does more than they thought it could,
Hmm. Yeah.
right?
It's leverage.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Very
and
good.
it's yeah.
Now, this has been awesome. This has been great. I really love the focus you've put on the customer experience. So often we get tied up with the product or the service that we're doing. It's really the who's the customer
Yeah,
and even who's their end user. If they're not the end user, who's the end user? Their
right.
experience. Yeah, this has been a really good reflection on that side of this game. This is awesome.
Thank you.
This is great. I want to encourage everybody watching to come back and watch it again because customer service is such a customer experience is such an important component of the games that we play out here. So come back, watch it again. Deborah's really shared some good insights on that side of things. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you can get notifications every time we drop a story like this. Deborah, thank you so much for being with us today. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate the way you've expressed this customer experience thinking process.
Well, thank you, Stephen. It was my pleasure, and I'm so grateful to have had this time with you.